In QuickBooks, you can also use the EasyStep interview to create a company file. You complete the EasyStep interview by entering information into different screens shown within the interview. After entering information into a screen, you can click the Next button to proceed to the next screen and repeat the process. After answering all questions within all screens, you can click the Go to Setup button and start using QuickBooks. Within the EasyStep interview, if questions arise that you must answer and you're unsure of the correct answer, don't worry. You can usually go back and change your answers later. In most screens, you can actually click the back button to return to a previous screen and simply change your answers. Also, if necessary, you can click the Leave button that appears at the bottom of the EasyStep interview to exit the EasyStep interview. However, if you leave the EasyStep interview prior to actually saving your company file, your data entry up until that point will be lost. However, a message box will appear to inform you if this is the case before you exit, so you need not worry about losing your data entry. If you are new to QuickBooks, you should consider creating a company file that is not your actual company file, but is similar in structure and nature, a dummy company if you will. That way you can practice creating transactions you would be likely to enter into your own company file without placing your own real company file data in jeopardy. You can create as many company files in QuickBooks as you would like. Also, if you set up a fake company file, it can be easier to train others in your company in the basic bookkeeping involved with the company without risking the integrity of your actual company's data file. Before entering data into the EasyStep interview, you do need to gather some information. First and most importantly, you need to select a start date for your QuickBooks company file. The start date is the date as of which you will enter all of the balances in the accounts used by your company file. Because of this, you may want to pick a date that isn't too far in the past, since you need to record each transaction that has occurred from the start date through the current date to ensure you create a company file that is both financially accurate and also ready for daily data entry. Many people choose the last day of the previous financial period, such as a quarter or month, as their start date. Remember that you have to enter all of the transactions that have occurred from the start date through the current date, or at least enter accurate journal entries representing those transaction values to use the company file and have accurate balances. So don't go too far into the past if you don't want to spend hours performing data entry. You also need to know the account balances of your checking, savings, and any other accounts within the company file as of that start date. This can often be found on a balance sheet created as of the start date, but if that isn't available, bank statements as of the start date can also be used. You also need to have a Federal Employer Identification Number, or FEIN, or the Social Security number found on your company's tax returns. Once you have all of this information, you can start the EasyStep interview. Now, to create a company file in QuickBooks, you can select File and then choose the New Company command from the menu bar, or you can click the Create a New Company button in the No Company Open dialog box that appears in QuickBooks when there is no company file opened in order to open the QuickBooks Setup window. You then click the Advanced Setup button within this window to open the EasyStep interview. Within the EasyStep interview, you can see the interview progress meter at the left side of the screen. As you complete the screens in the EasyStep interview, your overall progress is reflected within this meter. In the first screen labeled Enter Your Company Information, you enter information about your company. Required fields are noted by a red asterisk to the left of the field name. Begin by entering the name of your company into the company name field. You can then move to the next field by simply pressing the Tab key on your keyboard or by clicking into the next field with your mouse. The next field is the legal name field. This is most often the same thing as your company name field, but can be different for DBA businesses. If you have a question about this field, you can click the Explain hyperlink to show an associated help file explaining this field's purpose in a new window. You can then read the information shown within this window and close it when you are finished. This type of assistance is everywhere in the EasyStep interview and is found generally throughout the QuickBooks application. For example, you can click the Get Answers hyperlink in the upper right corner of any screen within the EasyStep interview to open an associated help file regarding the content that is entered into that particular screen. Once again, you can read this information and close it when you are finished. Help like this is woven throughout the program, so it is almost always available for any screen in QuickBooks, and this is just another great aspect of using this program. Next, enter either your FEIN or Social Security number as appropriate into the Tax ID field. Then enter your complete street address into the Street Address field set. Enter your city into the City field, and then select the abbreviation for your state from the State drop-down menu. Then enter your zip code into the Zip field. Select your country from the Country drop-down menu if necessary. Enter your phone, fax, and, if desired, email address and website information into the fields that are shown. Now, use the formatting that you want displayed on your forms within QuickBooks, like invoices, for example, when entering information into the phone and fax fields. Now, once you have finished entering data into this screen, you can then click the Next button to continue. In the next screen, titled Select Your Industry, you select the type of company for which you are creating a company file from the list of choices shown. The choice you make here determines which features are enabled and which default accounts are placed into your chart of accounts. You can always customize these features later, but selecting an industry from the list will typically reduce the amount of customization required. If your specific industry is not listed, either select the closest industry that is listed, or select the General Product-Based Business or General Service-Based Business choices from the list of choices. An important point to note is that the answer you make here will change what questions the EasyStep interview will pose to you as you continue. So the questions posed to an individual who selects retail shop or online commerce will be different from an individual who selects church or religious organization. For example, setting up sales tax would be part of the EasyStep interview for the retail shop or online commerce selection, but not for the church or religious organization selection. After making your industry selection, click the Next button to continue. The next screen asks how your company is organized. Select the option button that corresponds to the legal structure of your company. This assists QuickBooks in choosing accounts for your company's chart of accounts and also in assigning accounts to tax form lines. Once you have made your selection, click the Next button to continue. In the next screen, you select the first month of your fiscal year from the drop-down menu shown. Your fiscal year is quite often the same as your tax year. A fiscal year is simply a 12-month period used for reporting a company's financial status. For many companies, the first month of the fiscal year is January. This allows them to have the fiscal year coincide with the income tax year. Once you have selected the first month in your fiscal year, click the Next button to continue. In the next screen, titled Set up your administrator password, you can create a password for the administrator account of your company file. The administrator account has access to all of your company's financial information. This is an optional step, and you can create users and assign access privileges to those users at any time. However, if you wish to create a password for the administrator account, you can enter it into both the administrator password and retype password fields. If you do this, make sure that you know what this password is. Also note that passwords you create are case sensitive. When you are ready, click the Next button to continue. In the next screen, called Create Your Company File, you will create the actual QuickBooks company file that you will use. This is when you decide what to name the company file and where you will save it. Note that information, as you will most likely need it later. When you are ready to save the company file, you can click the Next button to continue. This will launch the File Name for New Company dialog box. This is a standard Windows Save As dialog box, so you use it to select the folder into which you want to save the company file. Once you've selected where you want to save the company file, you can then enter the name that you want to give to the company file into the File Name field. This defaults to the name of the company, but you can change it if needed. Once you know where you will save the file and what you will name it, click the Save button to save the company file and return to the EasyStep interview. The next screen that you will see in the EasyStep interview is the Customizing QuickBooks for Your Business screen. This screen informs you that the next several screens will customize your QuickBooks company file by asking you questions about your company, your customers, and how you pay your bills. At this point and hereafter, note that you can click the Leave button in the lower left corner of the EasyStep interview screen to save your progress and return later to complete the EasyStep interview if needed. Once you are ready to continue, click the Next button. Next, for your industry selection, the EasyStep interview shows a series of screens that allow you to customize your company file for your industry type. Answer any questions posed in each screen, and then click the Next button to continue until you have finished customizing the company file. Now, when you have finished answering all of the questions in the EasyStep interview, you will see the final Congratulations screen. Click the Go to Setup button to open a window that instructs you to create your customers, inventory, and vendors. You can close this window when you are finished reviewing the next steps that you should take to complete setting up your company file.